Hi guys, welcome back, or welcome if you guys are, nope, I always say it wrong. Welcome or welcome back if you guys are returning. So I want to do a quick little PSA as I shuffle before I get into the reading. I do want to share with you guys something that I think is kind of funny. Also the reason behind my name change on here. I feel weird if I don't address it in any way, shape, or form. So if you don't care, it's totally fair. I'll put the timestamp in the description box and you guys can just fast forward to the reading. So I was cleaning out my drawers. This was like I think it might have been a little longer than that. 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, not sure, a while ago. The other day, as I usually say, what is up with the rhymes today? I'm dropping bars, guys. Okay, so I cleaned out my drawers and I found my Kuan Yin Oracle deck, and I hadn't seen As the Empress came out. That's so interesting. That's so interesting. I freaking love that. She's like, yes, I'm making an appearance. Okay, I actually have to stop shuffling because I can't talk and do that at the same time because I start thinking of like 20 other things. If I see a card, it's not good. So we're gonna do this without shuffling. So I found my Kuan Yin Oracle and it was so freaking weird because it was stored away from the rest of them. Like I had all of my cards in one section and then I had them in a separate box in my room. So this deck was literally at the bottom of the drawer with like 2 petri dishes. It was so weird. I was like, what the freak are you doing here? So naturally, after like a year, maybe even 2, I think, 2? I don't know, it's been a while since I've used that deck. I think I've used it once on here and it was pretty recently because it was after I had already discovered it. So I'm looking through the deck and when I saw Daughter of the Phoenix, you guys can only imagine my freaking face. I was absolutely shook for a few reasons. First of all, I thought I was the one who came up with that. I was so fucking proud. I was so freaking proud of myself. No. So basically, I've mentioned in another video, but I've noticed for me one of my gifts is being able to pick up on, like, if I'm reading a book, I'll know what the next page says because I don't know, I intuitively pick up on it. I don't know how it happens, it just happens. And I think I was doing the same thing with that card. I think it was really relevant throughout that time in my life and I think I was picking up on it subconsciously, but I just couldn't confirm because I wasn't using the deck. Also, when I realized that, I was like, I do not want to get sued. I literally had no fucking freaking idea. Please don't come for me. I am just a girl. So I decided that it was time to set Daughter of the Phoenix on fire and that's so fitting. And I'm actually not that sad about it. I'm really excited and I'm ready for change. I'm ready for a new era. So after a while of going back and forth with my inner child, inner teenager, and higher self, I have decided that I am going to rebrand as the Celestial Seer. I'm excited. I think it has a nice ring to it, and I'm excited to see what it brings me as well, because names are so important. I think that having Daughter of the Phoenix made me go through a lot of tower moments, but those tower moments were so fucking freaking necessary. So yeah, that is my spiel about my name change. I felt kind of weird not saying anything about it at all, so I did just kind of want to address that. But yeah, I'm excited. I don't know how many times I've said that, probably like 50, but I am excited and I'm looking forward to the future. I think that one was for me, so we're going to move on to the reading. I don't have a plan. I don't have a spread. I'm just going to wing it today and see what comes out. I am using this deck it's one of the first ones that I ordered, actually, and one of the first ones that I felt really magical with. No, that I felt a lot of magic emanating from it. There we go. That's a good word. Okay, so we have the Wheel of Fortune that came out. I wasn't going to take a tarot card yet, but we're going to take that. So this card does talk about changes, okay, and cycles, of course. So the message that I'm getting is that because with Saturn in retrograde, okay, I feel like you guys are being shown a lot of the things that you have not closed out cycles with, okay? Whether this is a connection, whether it's a pattern within yourself, whether it's an emotion that no longer serves you, it could really be anything. I'm not sure at this point, but I do think that it is kind of everything that's been holding you back. I do feel like Spirit has been illuminating to you all of the things that are still repeating in your life that are holding you back from being able to build the life of your dreams. Because with Saturn in retrograde, it's like all of the things that kind of we're holding ourselves back with, okay? So I am seeing the Ten of Swords. I feel like you guys, so if you feel like you are kind of in a period of stagnation right now, I do feel like it is because you are healing, and I do think Spirit wants you guys to focus on that. I know personally during periods where it feels like I can't really connect to Spirit that well, or where maybe my gifts aren't as strong, I know usually now, I've learned over time that it's usually because I have a lot going on within me internally that I'm needing to purge. I need to tend to myself before I can tend to my gifts, because through healing yourself is how you unlock those gifts, right? That's like an important marker that you can't miss. So if you guys are feeling like you are kind of not, like you're not seeing things moving, like things are going really slow, I do feel like it is because Spirit is wanting you to slow down and to go inward and figure out what you still have to heal, okay? And with the Ten of Swords, I do feel like this is very heavy. It's heavy things, or they're heavy things. It's heavy stuff, essentially, that has been holding you back and could have been holding you back for quite some time, okay? So the Ten of Swords is another 10. 10 could be significant. Spirit, why was I seeing the Ten of Swords? Romance. Okay, so I feel like you guys could be facing a lot of wounds that come from past relationships, okay? And these things, they affect us in every aspect of our life, not just in other connections, right? Like if you have... Oh, it's gonna get serious for a second. I'm gonna try not to cry because I'm also going through it, guys, okay? If you have a lot of PTSD from past relationships, if there's a lot of trauma there, it is very hard to navigate the world. It's hard to do anything. It's hard to show up in social situations. It's hard to show up with your friends. It's hard to show up for your friends, right? For yourself, and even to push yourself to do the things that you love, that you're passionate about, because the trauma is blocking these things, right? So I think a lot of the times, especially with the culture that we live in, we are so encouraged to go, go, go. Like always do something, always give her, make sure that you're putting your best foot forth, which, yeah, that's always true, I guess. It's important to do those things, but we forget about rest, and we forget how important it is to tend to our hearts. And I am noticing here, because there is a peach, okay? So it's half cut, and we do see that seed on the inside. So this is almost like being exposed, right? Your heart is being exposed to these past hurts, because, and now I'm seeing the Three of Swords, because these are things that you might have told yourself that you were over, but that maybe your body is still holding on to, maybe your spirit is still holding on to these things. I know for me, I can only speak personally, but for me, a lot of the times I convinced myself that I was fine, that I was okay, until something came up from the past, and it completely put me in this state where I felt like I was taking 10 steps back, basically. I'll be honest with you guys, when I entered into a safe relationship, these things started coming up. I would still do have moments where I feel like my partner is cheating on me, that he could never actually love me, that there's no way, like he's looking at other women. These are all things that go through my head because of relationships that I've been in the past that were not the best for me. And when we find ourselves in relationships like that, we basically are just reenacting what we see from when we're small. That's all that we know. So we have to do the best, or we have to, how do you say that? We have to do our best in order to heal. But a lot of past pain coming up from old relationships. I know this says romance, but it doesn't necessarily have to be romantic, okay? This can even be familial, platonic relationships over time that have really affected you, okay? And even if you do want to connect with your soul family down the line, with your soulmate, right? You're never going to be completely healed, but you're going to want to let go of a lot of these shadow energies in order to, or I shouldn't say let go of, because it's more so about just creating balance and seeing the shadow, because we can't ever get rid of it, and the more that you try, the angrier it's going to get. So I think it's best to just not do that. But yeah, a lot of things coming up. What I wanted to say about this peach before I think I lost my train of thought along the way is that it has this hard interior, right? Which is this, I'm seeing it as your heart right now. I'm seeing it as a very strong heart. And even though you might be soft on the outside, and even though people took advantage of that in the past, it does not change your heart. Okay, so I don't really like how I explained that, and I want to correct myself. What I mean by this is that I do feel like you guys have strengthened your heart over time through these trials and tribulations, but you did not let this make you bitter. You did not let it make you cruel over time. You did not let yourself turn into the people that hurt you, and I think that is such a beautiful thing. So that's kind of the message that I'm getting from the mesocarp of the peach. I do feel like it speaks on your ability to remain soft, and I don't mean that in a bad way, because I know that's become an insult at one point. People were like, oh my god, you're so soft, which I never understood, but I digress. Moving forward. It does not change who you are. It does hurt, right? It does hurt us, but we can always transmute. So this can also be a little bit frustrating, because if you do feel like you have healed these things, having them come back up is always, it's disheartening, right? You get frustrated, you're like, oh, I have to move through this again. Like, I thought I was done, but we're never done. The learning never stops, and thank God it doesn't, right? Thank God it doesn't. But a lot of past pain coming up. I'm going to leave this card here, communication. Okay, this is at the bottom, and I am seeing the rooster. So thinking of roosters, they are the first ones to call in the morning. I feel like this is almost signaling a new day. A new way that you will be able to communicate, to show up in the world, because after the Ten of Swords we do see the Page. This is such a big change that we go through internally, mentally, after we've purged the icky stuff of the Ten of Swords, right? Guys, I think what's happening for you is so profound, and it might not seem that way externally right now in this moment, because it can feel like you are engulfed in a shitstorm. My non-swearing is not going very good. You feel like you're being engulfed in a shitstorm. Really, that's what it feels like. But once you allow yourself to be pulled into that storm, stop trying to resist it. Do whatever you need to do. Like, if you need to scream into a pillow, do it. Just make sure that you are releasing. Exercise. I would really recommend exercising, going for walks, moving your hips. We store a lot of energy, trauma in that space, especially for women, okay? So really try and dance, have fun while you're doing it, and not give a freak about who is watching, even if there's no one there. I go through this sometimes. I get embarrassed when there's no one even there. Like, make it make sense. It doesn't. But if you go through that, I just want you to know that you're not alone, okay? You're not alone. But really just try and move, try and connect to the body. If dancing isn't your thing, do yoga, right? Do something, meditation, but make sure that you are trying to physically release what is coming out. So we do have the spider with number 2. I don't know. Oh my goodness, that's too aggressive. Stop scratching so hard. She distracted me, but I love that that happened as I was about to read the High Priestess card, okay? So you guys could have a cat. Cats could be significant. But also, this says creative ingenuity, okay? So the spider and the passion flower. So I feel like through doing this healing, you guys are really opening up your creative channels. A lot of the times our creative channels get blocked because of certain things that are still sitting within our bodies, right? Trauma, pain, etc. That goes hand in hand, but I digress. So I do feel like after, this might not be so much right away. It could be for some of you guys. Some of you could be feeling, through doing this healing, you could be feeling your creativity coming back. You could be feeling a lot more inspired. Maybe even to create from that hurt space, if that makes sense, right? Like using that as an outlet in order to help yourself heal if you are very creative in that sense, okay? So I am going to, and I cut it on the King of Cups. So I do feel like that is, first of all, coming into so much emotional understanding about yourself and about this phase of healing that you are coming into, and the new phase that, or coming out of, and the new phase that you are going to be going into, okay? Or the new phase that you're going to be going into. That's a weird sentence. That's a weird sentence and I don't feel right about it, but we're gonna move on. So I am seeing Temperance, and that is after Death before the Devil as well, okay? So that mediating energy that helps us in that descent, right? When we are learning about abandonment wounds, things that we maybe can't see about ourselves. Judgment. Okay, so Archangel Gabriel could be significant. This is really cool, having this coming after having this come after. Can I talk today? Like, what the freak is going on? Having this appear with these cards is amazing, even after seeing that Ten of Swords, because this is awakening, right? And no longer going back to previous cycles that you were repeating, because you finally understand now and you see things from that higher perspective. And we have Death at the bottom, okay? So a lot of endings, I think, a really big ego death, and a lot of endings within yourself, if that makes sense. This could be outside of you as well. Like, you could have been cutting off certain people, you could have been setting boundaries with certain people, different things, okay? Maybe even with yourself. So this is really exciting. This is about to close out a cycle. I feel like you guys finally got a grasp of something that was really holding you back, which is amazing. That's so exciting. I think this was a really big breakthrough for you. So I want to ask Spirit, the Hermit, guys, I'm so excited. That is that breakthrough. Also, this is using the wisdom that you have accumulated, the strength that you have accumulated up until this point in order to move through whatever cycle life brings you. It doesn't matter if it's this one, it doesn't matter if it's a past thing coming up, you know you'll be able to move through it, because through the darkness that you've been going through, you've been cultivating the light inside your heart, and that is the most amazing thing. That will guide you throughout your entire life, and it will keep you connected to God. So keep cultivating that light. This is beautiful. So we have 3 major arcanas. This is a really big deal. And the World and the 9 of Pentacles. So I fucking love this. I keep trying not to swear, but I'm so excited. This is really exciting. With the World being here, again, this comes right after, so 4 major arcanas. And then this 9 of Pentacles, this is being comfortable within yourself. Also building comfort around you, creating a sanctuary around you as well, but also, like I said, creating one within your heart first, which is that light. And I do feel like you guys are showing others the way as well through the healing that you're doing, through the way that you love yourself and put your growth ahead of all else. I do feel like this encourages others to find that willpower within themselves, so keep going. We have the 8 of Swords. Yeah, so this is, I don't feel like you guys are in this right now. I feel like, well, some of you could be. I'm hearing that some of you could be, okay? And it might kind of feel like this, like a web. So it might be a little bit tricky, like a riddle, learning how to get out of it. But once you realize that all you have to do is undo that blindfold, things get so much easier. A lot of the times we hold ourselves back, but again, it's not because we want to do this, right? You don't wake up and you're like, I'm gonna hold myself back today. I'm not gonna make moves. I'm not gonna grow. Nobody sets the intention to do that. Well, I don't know. I don't know about that. I would like to think that nobody does that, okay? But again, trauma, pain, the past, all of these things, they contribute to the state of our nervous system in this present moment. So all of these things do affect us, right? I think that you guys are coming out of this. You're coming out of this period, and I do feel like a lot of it was testing you. A lot of it was testing you to see if you are going to use the wisdom and use it in a creative way. I think Spirit really honestly just wanted to see what you guys are made of. And I know sometimes that can be so frustrating when we go through periods like that, but that's how they test us. That's how they test our strength, and that's how they test to see if you are willing to stay committed to the path, or if you're going to fall off easily, right? As I cut it on the Hierophant. So, Spirit, I want to know, what can they expect? What can they expect? Page of Swords, yeah. Oh my god, it fell. It's fallen! Okay, so Page of Swords, that's what I was picking up on before, right? So this new kind of phase, this is that clarity, that new way of thinking that we come into once we come out of that dark night of the soul. I love this. Even the way that she's holding the sword on this, you can tell she's not super confident in the way that she's holding it yet, but she's doing her best, right? And that's all that matters. When we look at the Queen and King, for example, they have a firm grip on the sword. So it's knowing your truth. I think here is like the phase where we just heal, we uncover what the inner child has been trying to show us, tell us, and it's like, okay, I know that this is what's going on, but what am I to do with this information? How do I integrate it? How do I move forward? So I feel like that's kind of the period that you guys are in now, the integration period, and the period where you are supposed to be resting. And I do feel like your higher self, with this High Priestess, I feel like your higher self is doing a lot of the work behind the scenes without you really realizing it, okay? And I think the best thing that you guys can do is stay grounded, okay? Make sure you are grounding, especially with the energies that we are moving through right now. If you feel called to, go by water, go to the forest, wherever you feel connected, as the King of Pentacles flipped over. Okay? So, and with a bunch of others that I'm not going to take, it was like half the deck, but I am going to take the King of Pentacles. This is also being, again, very grounded within yourself, within your beliefs, and within your dreams, right? The King of Pentacles energy is very stable, knows when, how to invest, okay, in himself and in other things, right, externally, whether it's in his career, personal life, whatever, right? This is somebody who understands and knows what they need to do. But in order for us to reach this grounded kind of state, we must be willing to move through the mind, right? And kind of not conquer the mind, because that's not a thing, but definitely create balance within it. I feel like you guys coming into this Page of Swords energy is what's really going to be like the word? What's going to like kickstart almost the energy that you need to be in order to attain your manifestations. I hope that's making sense. Like, this is the initial energy that you need to really launch you and push you forth, okay? And now I am seeing this creative ingenuity card as kind of going hand in hand with this. So you guys could very well be trying to figure out how you can maybe offer in the future different healing modalities to people. Okay, if you guys are healers, I feel like with this Hermit Judgment being here as well, and this King of Pentacles, you guys do have a very grounding energy, also very wise. So if you do want to follow a path within the spiritual community, I would really recommend that if you're not doing so already. And if that has been what your heart has been telling you, follow the light. Follow the light, because it is leading you in the right direction, okay? don't doubt yourself. I feel like you guys are coming into this energy within your spirit first, but you're also building this outside of yourself. So your foundation essentially, right? Your career, generational wealth, etc. But again, that's not just finances. So coming into this abundant mindset, again, within your spirit, before you can come into it in the 3D. So again, keep going, guys, and keep trusting, okay? Because with the Hermit and Judgment, this is very much so somebody who is guided by spirit. And we did have the Hierophant earlier, right? That wanted to peek through. So keep doing what you're doing. Okay, we've got delays at the bottom. Fire. Pluto and memories. Wow, Jupiter. Okay, so that checks out. I feel like this is a confirmation, okay? You guys are experiencing delays because of what you are needing to transmute, okay? And this fire card is number 12, so we are seeing Hanged Man energy here, okay? And really surrendering to what is coming up in order to create balance mentally, because I am seeing justice with this as well, because it's number 11, okay? So a lot is going on. A lot is going on. Be so patient with yourselves. If you feel extremely frustrated, or again, if you feel like you might be taking 10 steps back, don't be hard on yourself. This is completely normal. I think questioning every part of yourself, every aspect of your journey, even when you've already been on it for a while, is one of the healthiest things that you can do. So keep going, okay? Allow the memories to come through, but don't cling on to them so much, right? Allow them to come and to pass, and connect with the higher self. I am seeing Jupiter here, and we do see 7, so that Chariot energy, right? And that's Cancerian energy. So expanding the way that you nurture yourself through going through moments like this. That was a weird sentence, but you know what I mean. Expanding the ways in which you nurture yourself, essentially. I think Spirit is really wanting you to practice self-care. It's coming up again, okay? So this was a confirmation, and I do feel like you guys are making some big moves, okay? So like I said, take it very easy on yourself, and make sure that you are mixing in some time for rest, okay? Okay, so I do want to get one of these as advice, and I will pull, it's over there, so I have to go get it, but an oracle card, Ghosts, Pluto. Yeah, so this is, to me, being haunted by the past. It's pretty ambiguous to just leave that one card. Okay, thanks, Spirit. Pluto and Neptune came out again. So these are moving through some pretty elusive, heavy energies. Be careful of the things that your mind is trying to tell you during this period, okay? Listen to your wisdom. Instead, listen to your heart, not your mind. I'm being taken to the 3 of Swords again, because I do feel like now I'm being taken to egregores and shadows that we create ourselves through our trauma. You guys could be facing this right now. I don't know if you guys are having gnarly dreams. You could be dreaming of bugs. You guys could be dreaming of spiders. You could be dreaming of black animals. If you are, these are shadows of the guardians of the shadow realm. Still having a hard time speaking, okay? But again, Neptune and Pluto, these can be very deceptive and elusive if we let ourselves get too carried away with their energies, okay? Because the shadow, I believe that every planet also has a shadow and a light aspect, okay? And the shadow aspects of those planets are not the easiest to deal with, right? I cut it on Retreat with Reishi, okay? So everything is kind of confirming. Everything is kind of confirming. I left that sentence open-ended. The cards are confirming each other. Here we go. Yeah, those cars in the background, I swear the past 2 days there have been at least like, there have been multiple revving of the engines, and it doesn't happen that often. So I feel like shit's hitting the fan. Dream is at the bottom, so pay attention to what is showing up in your dreams. I would make note, if you guys remember, the insects, the animals that are showing up in your dreams, also your meditations, visions, etc. Okay, I'm gonna take these two. Ancient Memory and Echinacea. So we have number 3 with Rosemary and Ancient Memory, and Echinacea is number 30. I love this so much. I feel like you guys are really connecting to your ancestors, and maybe you're being encouraged to connect to old ancestral ways of healing. I'm hearing that, okay? This might be a part of your destiny, okay? You might be, like, I'm getting goosebumps right now. You guys might be, like, there might be something that you revive from your ancestral line that is a part of this generational wealth, okay? I'm gonna leave it at that so that I leave it a little bit ambiguous. I'll show you guys these cards again. And we do see the Ouroboros on that Echinacea. This herb is really good for immune support. So when we think of this energetically, it's really good at helping kind of keep that barrier, which we do see with, okay, so maybe get creative with the ways that you protect yourselves. If you feel called to, I would envision a spider kind of like above your crown, or I would say above your crown, creating a web around you. I really like doing that, so I would recommend that you guys try that out and see if you enjoy it. But it doesn't have to be just with the spider. Like, you can envision anything like that and create magic out of it. Magic really is what you make it, as long as you believe that it's working, right? So I freaking love these cards, guys. I'm so excited. And I was just gonna say, I feel like it's a huge breakthrough, and this freaking page is what I cut it on. A lot of synchronicities. You guys could be seeing a lot of synchronicities right now. I'm hearing 222, okay, 1212, and 1010 we had earlier. Alright, so the keywords for Rosemary are remembrance and ancient memory. Oops. Rosemary has been used medicinally dating back to the ancient Greeks and Romans in 500 BC. Dried sprigs of rosemary even showed up in Egyptian tombs as early as 3000 BC. Ancients were all acquainted with this hardy shrub, which had a reputation for strengthening the mind and memory. Even today, rosemary is used to improve memory. Legend has it that the Virgin Mary, mother of Jesus, as she fled from Egypt, sheltered next to a rosemary bush. She threw her cape onto the bush and the white flowers turned blue. Since then, this precious herb has been called Rose of Mary, okay? So Mary Magdalene could be significant. I'm getting chills, so I'm not sure if some of you guys work with her. I'm getting full body goosebumps, like, I'm not lying about it. So maybe some of you guys are being called to work with her, okay? Ruled both by Mercury, the planet of the mind, and the Sun, the planet representative of our base ego and superego. Rosemary embodies this holy connection, the mind of the ego to the superego, the higher mind. This card signifies past feelings and emotions that are resurfacing from deep within. You may find yourself remembering and accessing ancestral memory that resides within your DNA. Okay. So some of what you guys might be feeling, like, there might be certain things that aren't even yours, okay? I'm getting chills again. There might be certain things that, if you look here, we see an elder, okay? So these might be things that your grandparents, their moms, dads, whatever, went through that they were not able to heal. And if you have become this vessel for healing for your lineage, you're the one that's going to have to feel all of it. And I know it's so overwhelming, but you guys need to think of the higher polarity of that and see how it's such a gift. It is such a gift, so do not give up, no matter what, okay? Don't give up. Rosemary assists us in healing through multidimensional sight. reminding us to use the power of vision to see beyond the contracts of everyday life. Don't disassociate or get consumed by the veil that broadcasts emotional imbalance. Call upon Rosemary as a guiding light to see beyond the veil of confusion and stay committed to the vision that moves you. Okay, well, that's beautiful. I almost started crying. That made me emotional. This is so cute, guys. Like, I'm so excited. What the heck? And we do have Jupiter here with Pluto. We saw those cards earlier as well. I just cut it on this card, or this page. Okay, you guys are definitely a conduit for spirit. But again, now I'm being taken back to that message. If you feel disconnected from spirit in those moments, it's probably because spirit wants you to connect to your heart. Okay, so I'm reiterating that. I feel like somebody needs to hear that. Okay. So Echinacea, the keywords are Wheel of Change. Wow. That's really cool. Life cycles, destiny, and bigger vision. I feel like I have to hold these up while I read it. Many native people consider Echinacea to be a protective spirit medicine, and some of the root is often included in medicine pouches worn around the hip or neck. The Navajo consider Echinacea to be a life medicine, one of the 40 plants used for specific healing rituals. That makes me so sad because it's endangered. And it's because people started over cultivating it for medicine, people that were not native. So I'm feeling called right now to say I'm doing the same in my practice, and I'm doing my best to remind myself every single day that there are a million other herbs to use, there are a million other words to use as well. Okay, if you guys find yourselves working with sage, using the word smudge, but you're not indigenous, I would really recommend maybe expanding on your vocabulary. I'm not saying that to be mean. That was a message for me too, because I had no idea for the longest time that saying that you were smudging, this is a ceremonial practice that indigenous people have. Okay, so I'm not indigenous, I'm not from these lands. The land that I'm on right now is very far away from my home, so I prefer to say cleansing. I would really encourage other words, and I really want to encourage more conversation about this in the future as well, because even with the chakras, right? But everybody in the New Age community uses that term, including myself. I've also used that term before, but I'm really trying my best to do this thing where I don't do that anymore, and I do want to start saying energy centers, energy meridians. Okay, so I would really encourage that, especially if you are taking from a culture that is not yours. I think there are ways that we can use certain things from different practices in our own, as long as we are being respectful to that culture, to the people, and to their gods. So that was my TED Talk really quick there. I'm gonna finish what this says because I'm at 14%. I'm scared it's not gonna make it. Okay, so Echinacea primarily tackles the liver. I skipped literally the entire thing. Okay, I'm just going to start from here though. Echinacea primarily tackles the liver, the blood, the stimulation of the immune system, and all of which falls under Jupiter's rulership. Jupiter herbs, like Echinacea, have a powerful ability to prevent the damaging effects of stress on the organs, enabling deep protection on a multi-organ level. Guidance. The snake eating its tail, the Ouroboros, is the wheel of change, resembling the cycles of life and death. The sun and moon orbit and spin the wheel of change. Echinacea sprouting in the center represents evolutionary consciousness, unbound by the confines of destiny. Like the Wheel of Fortune, this card may signal a twist of fate, a time where something in life shifts us and reorients us elsewhere. Echinacea has shown up in your cards today to remind you that the universe is always in motion, and nothing is by accident. I've been getting full chills this whole time, so confirmation on an event that shifts. I'm getting it again. It's happening again. A twist of faith. Okay. So the key is to see through the cycles of destiny. No, the key to see through the cycles of destiny is to remain centered and fluid, flowing with the course of life. The elusive judgments of good and bad only limits the vision of the great understanding. Step back and observe the great vision at play and be unbound by the passing influences. I love this. This is really like, again, seeing the higher picture of the things that are coming up, okay? So I think I am going to leave it there. I have to wrap it up before my camera dies. I really do hope that the messages resonated with you guys. I hope you enjoyed the reading. If you made it this far, thank you so much. I'm sending you guys all of the love, and I hope you have a wonderful day or night, whatever it is, wherever you are in the world, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. No, but of course, my camera died as soon as I was about to say bye. Like, the universe is really freaking testing me. That's fine. So I've come back to say bye. This feels so weird. I don't know what else to say. Hope you guys have a good one, and I hope to see you in the next one. Okay, I'm leaving.